Greetings, everybody, and I have in front of me the special guest. His name is Sergio Prado, and he's a $1 million producer. He is a real estate king. He knows everything inside and out, and he's also a motivational speaker. We're going to be sharing stage very soon. He's also an influencer. He does so many things for the community, and he has done special things also, you know, in the lives of others to change their perspective, their influences, their also, you know, impact as well. So, Sergio, ¿cómo está, amigo?
Muchas gracias, Ilona. Gracias. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to share my humble beginnings in this beautiful industry of real estate and motivational. So I'm glad I'm here, and thank you. I'm honored again. And thank you I'm the king. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, you know, you've done so much and you have achieved so many things, Sergio. And I'm so proud to see what you have done. And you still stay humble. I always say that no matter how high you fly, still be grounded. And that's what you are. That's what you are. You also bring the energy. When people meet you, they gravitate towards you because, you know, that's who you are. You love to smile. You love to share so many things with others. But, you know, I always shared with pretty much with every of my guests, behind the strong character that you have built now, there's always a very special, unique story behind that. And I would, I've heard, of course, from you a lot, but I would like you to share your story with others, and so they will be able to connect and get to know you, Sergio. Right?
Thank you so much. And something that I learned from experience is that I had to admit, it's kind of crazy, but to my benefit, it helped me a lot because I was born in Mexico in a border town, but part of my life I was raised over there, but the other part of my life, I came to the United States. So I had to admit that my Spanish is not perfect, but not even my English. So it's kind of funny, but the way that helped me a lot is that everything that I do and everything I do in sales, everything I had to transfer from the heart. And this is something that it has touched a lot of families because the moment I really transfer my language from the heart, it has helped me a lot. And it's something that I learned, I would say, because of that experience, because my English is not that well, but my Spanish either. So it's something that I would like to share a little bit more deep into that story. Yes, but again, thank you. Yes. Yeah. So I was born in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, a border town with Laredo, Texas. But I thank God and I thank a lot my parents because my mother, even if she didn't have any idea what big benefit she actually had having me here in the United States. So I was raised over there in the part of Mexico, and I would say I was low middle class. And since the beginning, when I was in school, I was one of the worst students ever in school. I didn't catch my attention a lot in schools, but I was always a dreamer. I remember back then in Mexico, a long time ago, it was very, very common to every at least 3 months to have a circus in town. So the circus actually was the big tent with the animals, and it was a big deal. So I always begged my parents, you know what, take me to the circus, take me to the circus. So when I went, I was mesmerized, I was surprised and happy seeing everything around there. And when I was watching, in my mind, I already had my plans whenever I get back home. And it was crazy because my parents, they already knew it. This guy, once he comes home, he's gonna do his circus. And I used to do that. I remember I used to ride my bike in the whole subdivision and literally screaming, free circus in town, free circus. So I remember I used to have a dog named Snoopy. So he was the tiger of the circus. So I remember back then that I was always a dreamer. So I started growing up and I was still doing very cool. So I told my parents, I remember very clearly, I was 16 and I told my parents, you know what? I'm gonna quit school. I don't want anything with school because I was like you said, I was kind of in a way bullied, not in a sense like bully in like hit me or anything, but it was bully because again, I was one of the worst students in the classroom. So I told my parents, you know what, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna cross the border and find me a job. So my first job, it was selling tennis shoes. So back then, I remember I got along very well with the sales and I hit a lot of records doing that. So little by little, I remember I was still a dreamer, but I was still good in sales. So it's something that I always remember, and I'm always very grateful because again, to this time, I'm always grateful to my parents because I still have a lot of friends over there in the border that they didn't have that opportunity and they're still working over there. And to me, it breaks my heart because I was the worst student ever. And thank God I've been doing very, very well. So yes.
Wow. So look at your map, like a life map. You went from the circus to selling the shoes to selling right now the real estate. That
Yeah.
you know this ins and out this industry. So inside of you, you were always entrepreneur, but also you were, sharing always. And this word always came out, throughout your story. Dream. I used to be a dreamer. I was a dreamer. That was my dream, which means the dreams, Sergio, are not enough, right? You need to, in order to achieve the dreams, you do have to put the action steps. You have to achieve some goals to get that. So what were your goals or your steps that you were achieving to get to your dreams? Do you have your dream now or not?
Yes, I do. And that's something very, very impactful because I'm married already for 17 years already.
Better get it right.
And I'm gonna have to admit, yes, and this is just between us, but something that I always remember is that I got married and then 2 months after, 2 years, I'm sorry, 2 years after I got married, we had our first son. But I was so scared. I was so scared and it was mixed emotions because I was scared and I was happy, but I was more scared than happy. And it's something that I was in my mind, you know what? How can I make it and provide to my family? So I was so scared, and that's when my prey drive started to kick in more. And I say, you know what? Now I had to deliver more in my work, be more work ethic, more workaholic in that sense, because I needed that to provide to my family. So it is something that changed my mind, changed everything, that motivational. But now the way I see it, and this is something that I tell to a lot of people that they're just very starting. If I were new, the way I became, how successful everything that I had dreamed of, trust me, it wouldn't work so much stress. So it's something that I tell people, don't stress out, don't feel bad for everything that you're going through because you don't know how the future is gonna be. So I had a lot of nights, like sleepless nights, something that I wouldn't share also to my wife because I wouldn't want her to be worried. But now when everything go out, when I go back, everything makes sense to this point. Mm-hmm. And again, it's something that I tell people, everything that I have accomplished, now I see it in a different way because we want to share it to younger people. We want to share it to see that everything is possible, everything we can achieve it. And I won't stop there because I want more, and also to provide for my family, but also to provide to the community, because now for me, it makes sense making money. So it's something that a lot of people say, you know what, now I can give back to my parents. Now I can do this. Now, so to me, sales, it has been one of the most humble professions that we can have, because we can provide a lot of things to our loved ones. So I had suffered so much, but honestly, from the bottom of my heart, it has worked a million times.
Wow.
Yes.
And you said this one, and I've never had anybody, pretty much like take it so like through this approach. You said that if things don't go your way, don't stress out. Just relax, find another way. And that's what sometimes we forget to do, like let it go, which means it has to happen. If one door is closing in front of you, there will be something else. Well, all you have to do is just go and knock, and don't stress out, which means when you stress out, nothing good's gonna come out of that. Just take it back, sit back, think, relax, and then, with a fresh mind, start it over or take a different approach to get to the same goal, the same dream that you have had. And you had such a great motivation to start. You became now a provider, a dad, and a husband. And this is a lot of responsibility that came to your plate besides on top of your dreams. So, and you took it in the right way. Yes, you appreciated that, and you're okay. I own it. Now I have to do something for the blessings that I have. I'm not going to let it go. And that's what I like. You went for it. And that's why you're so successful, because you have a great motivation. You have a great motives, and you're always humble. And people really come to you for any help that they have. And Sergio, let's say this is your only opportunity. Speak to one person. What do you want to tell them about achieving the dreams?
Okay, something that is gonna be very change my mind a lot is that, especially in sales, you always have to be grateful for that opportunity. If something that is very, and this is something very true, what I'm gonna share with you. This past year, I'm number one in sales, top producer. And one of the person, they asked me, what did it change from previous year to this one? And I told them, you know what? Nothing changed as far as work ethic. I have been very responsible since the beginning, but something that changed a lot to me, and I've done it before, but this is something that I do it more and more and more often, is be grateful for every opportunity. So if I had a chance to say, you know what, I'm gonna live in this earth right now, there's something knowledge and something that I can provide to that person that you asking me, will be always be grateful. And that's gonna be the key to opening a lot of opportunities. Wow. Always be grateful for every single opportunity, because I remember back then I was overwhelmed with so much work, and it's something crazy that I always tell my wife. I came back home and I was ready to do a cookout and everything, and then I just barely gonna do this, and a lot of calling from people and buyers. And I remember I used to, I'm being transparent now, and at some point I used to hate it that way, because, and I told my wife, they don't leave me alone, I want some peace. And from one day to another, you say, you know what, why am I acting like that? I should be grateful, because instead of calling other people, they're calling me. And I say, you know what, from the moment I changed my perspective, for every single time, be grateful. Be grateful for everything that you have, because you don't know if you're gonna get that chance anymore.
Yes, that is actually so profound. It's simple, but yet we don't understand that being grateful is like a blessing, like we are watering our seeds with that. So our goals and our dreams will come true. Even I, I'm like guilty of that, because I don't stop. I don't appreciate what I have sometimes, and I become guilty of that. So just simple think like that, like being grateful, goes a long way. So Sergio, thank you so much for reminding us of being grateful and to really appreciate for every single small opportunities that we have our ways, and really just remember how blessed we are, regardless of what we want to achieve or how we can compare each other. So thank you so much. Dios te bendiga, Sergio.
Dios te bendiga. Dios les bendiga. Yes, yes, yes. And something that also that I learned from a lot of years of experience is that everything I had it in my calendar. Everything I look to the gurus, and you have to have your agenda planned out.
Yes.
Which to this day I have it. Trust me, I have my agenda. Everything is planned out. But something that I learned is that don't stress out, because most of the times it won't happen in that order. Mm-hmm. It won't happen exactly in that particular time. And I remember back in the days, I remember this buyer came in late and this and blah, blah, blah. And I was so stressed. The moment you had to admit that everything is going to change the way you plan it. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I admitted, because and also in Motivational Speaker, I remember my first event that we did. I remember I told my wife, I used to drive a beat up car back in the days, and I told my wife, you know what? I'm gonna go to this event, and I'm gonna show up. They're gonna look at me. They're gonna and they're gonna see the way we talk. And you know what? I was planning everything in my head, and I hope to do this and talk like to certain time of manners, and you know what? I noticed never happens that way. And even in sales, I remember saying, you know what, I'm gonna show them this home, blah, 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 and they don't buy that home that I was thinking. So the moment that you have to be free and let go everything, you know what, and everything has to flow the way transparent and honestly, everything falls more into place. So it's crazy, but that's something that I told a lot of people. You know what? Everything that you have been planned out, most of the time it's not gonna work that way. So yes.
I've been laughing because I resemble myself, because I plan everything. I put all the scenarios. I already know what I'm gonna wear, for example, 6 months from now for the special event, for the birthdays, for what I'm gonna make this and this. It's all planned out, but I really resemble it sometimes. This is where stress comes in, this is where sometimes you just have to really relax. And I'm preaching to the choir because I have to learn to do the same thing too. So, but Sergio, we really appreciate for your humble heart, for the simple truth that you have shared with us, to go for your dreams, to be humble, and to be grateful for everything that you do. God bless you, Sergio. And I cannot wait to see how God is going to make you soar high so you can continue to help other people. God bless you.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you.